Now, with the latest in headline news, with a little snark thrown in, DateLine with CFJ. DateLine, Washington, D.C. Attorney General Eric Holder was in court last week, begging, pleading, down on his knees, whining to the court to keep the Fast and Furious documents sealed. All this after blaming the whole gun-running fiasco on some rogue IRS agents in Cincinnati. It was some Veterans Administration officials in Phoenix. No, that wasn't it. Wait, Fast and Furious was the fault of a YouTube video. Now I got it. Holder originally blamed the killing of border agents Brian Terry, Jaime Zapata, as well as hundreds of Mexican citizens on low-level Arizona ATF officials. Mr. Holder, since you are trying to keep all of the documents from the Fast and Furious sealed, do you have something to hide?
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
DateLine, Ohio. While people with more than 27 brain cells realize that Barack Obama only won re-election with massive voter fraud, the left still turns a blind eye to blatant evidence. Because of the racist GOP and their voter suppression, poor Meloise Richardson was able to vote only 8 times for Barack Obama. After pleading no contest, she was given a 5-year sentence, but was slipped out the back door when people lost interest in the story, after only 8 months, by the ADA, who just so happens to be an Obama donor. Justice, my friends, is not blind. DateLine, Phoenix. As the VA scandal unfolds, will we ever see someone be held accountable? I'll tell you what, now that we see that the secret waiting lists were not isolated but at several VAs across the country, I'll bet you dollars to donuts that directive came straight from the president's re-election campaign at the White House. Obama campaigned on fixing the VA system back in 2008, and the VP's wife, along with Michelle Obama, went around the country before the 2012 election praising all that this administration had done for the veterans. The secret lists were a smokescreen to cook the books so no VA scandal broke before the election. DateLine, Maryland. With memories of Representative Elijah Cummings throwing a hissy fit like an 11-year-old girl who just lost her Barbie, the real truth about his feigned outrage has come to light. In recently released emails, then IRS Administrator Lois Lerner leaked confidential tax information on Tea Party group and voter activist True the Vote to Congressman Cummings. This, my friends, is a felony. A felony. Now we know why Take the Fifth Lois asked for immunity from prosecution. But what we don't know is why isn't Elijah Cummings in an orange jumpsuit by now? DateLine, Moscow. Russian strongman Vladimir Putin answering a question from the CNBC host when asked about President Obama accusing him of untruths. Vlad, the beneficiary of a more flexible second-term Obama, answered, and I quote, "Who's he to judge? Who's he to judge? Seriously." Then the crowd as well as the host burst into laughter and applause. I guess the word is out on our dear leader. After gonna be transparent, gonna close Gitmo, gonna cut the deficit in half, gonna create shovel-ready jobs, keep your health care plan, keep your doctor, not a smidge of corruption, etc., etc., etc. Barack Obama has turned the presidency into a Saturday Night Live skit with John Lovitz starring as Breezy.
Yeah, that's it, dig it.
DateLine, Mexico. Our brave war hero with PTSD, Sergeant Andrew Tamaresi, who actually did serve his country with honor and distinction with 2 tours in Afghanistan, is still in a Mexican prison for simply making a wrong turn. Secretary of State John Kerry just went to Mexico City with just a passing mention of Andrew's plight to the Mexican authorities without any action being taken. Kerry left Mexico without Andrew. Is it a prerequisite to be a Secretary of State under Obama to be able to leave our brave men in uniform behind?
What difference does it make?
And that's DateLine, Part 1. This is Part 2 of DateLine with CFJ. DateLine, Maryland Redo. Representative Elijah Cummings gets named to the Benghazi Select Committee by Nancy Pelosi.
Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi.
He has been tabbed by the former speaker to be the latest in charge of pulling down the next Obama scandal condom. That's right. You heard me right. The Obama scandal condom for protection against impeachment. DateLine, Poland. President Obama, on his latest working vacation, was caught in an incredible struggle with a pair of 3-pound dumbbells. After his disastrous presidency, where it seems everything he touches turns to crud, excuse my French, just when you thought it couldn't get any more embarrassing, the 90-pound weakling Prezi is the laughing stock once again. May I suggest a visit from Hans and Franz?
I'm Hans.
Yeah, I'm Franz, and we are here to pop you are.
DateLine, Kentucky. Senator Rand Paul had a great idea this week. He gave President Obama a suggestion, and I quote, "Since Obama likes to trade people, why not 5 Democrats?" unquote. He then suggested 3 to be traded for Sergeant Andrew Tamaresi: Gigolo John Kerry, Ansar al-Sharia's favorite Hillary Clinton, and the great Nancy Pelosi.
I don't know what was so great about the Depression, but that's the name they give it.
Now your humble commentator would like to make suggestions for the last 2 coveted spots. First, the crookedest Senate Majority Leader ever, slimy Harry Reid. He's been in charge of every single piece of legislation to come from D.C. in the last 7 years. No wonder Congress has a 7% approval rating. And the last spot? Soon to be indicted Congressman Elijah Cummings. He's the White House's pinch hitter to try to filibuster any and all of the plethora of scandals plaguing this lawless administration. DateLine, Atlanta. While on a Sunday talk show on CNN last week, Obama's National Security Advisor Susan Rice got caught in another series of lies, saying that Sergeant Bo Bergdahl served with honor and distinction, while it's been a well-known fact for years that he was a deserter. Brings back memories of Rice's infamous Benghazi YouTube debacle. Either Rice is a pathological liar or she doesn't even care what they tell her to parrot while speaking to the public. Either way, I don't want her to represent me and my government.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
DateLine, Washington, D.C. Redo. After the latest public relations disaster and ensuing parade of lies about the deserter Bo Bergdahl swap for the worst of the worst from Gitmo, aka the Taliban Dream Team, you might say that this administration is the gang that couldn't shoot straight. Except for the fact that they shoot themselves in the foot every single time.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
And that's DateLine for this day, June 9, 2014.